I want you to picture something for a moment. Imagine a yellowed envelope. It's a bit brittle, and it's been tucked away inside an old family Bible, or maybe behind a photograph on the mantelpiece.
Hmm.
The ink might be faded, the handwriting a little shaky, but the words inside are just completely alive. They're whispering secrets of resilience and quiet joys to a generation the writer never even got to meet.
That image is, well, it's perfect. It's the absolute essence of what we're diving into today. Legacy letters.
Legacy letters.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll hear them called ethical wills. It's really important to get this distinction right away. They are fundamentally different from a last will and testament.
Okay, how so?
A legal will, that's all about assets, your property, your possessions. A legacy letter, though, it deals in the essence of who you are. It's a gift of your wisdom, the values that guided you. It's your interior landscape.
And it feels like we need this now more than ever, right? I mean, we live in this world of digital oblivion.
Oh, absolutely.
Your stories can vanish when a server crashes. Your whole history is on a hard drive that, breaks. A legacy letter is a deliberate physical anchor.
It's a conversation across time that can't be deleted.
Exactly. It prevents those small moments that taught you everything from just dissolving into the digital ether.
So our mission today is both practical and, I think, pretty profound. We're going to unpack the actual steps for this. We've pulled from all these timeless prompts and modern insights to give you a blueprint to craft a letter that will really resonate.
A blueprint for writing your true self into your family's history.
Yes, in a way that provides real guidance and comfort.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The sources all seem to agree that the first phase is the one people rush through, or even skip entirely. Pause and reflect. This isn't just, grabbing a pen and paper.
Precisely. The instruction here is beautiful, I think. It says, to sit with your life like an old friend over tea.
I love that.
Before you write a single word for someone else, you have to unearth your own core. You have to know what you stand for.
And it has to be structured reflection, not just daydreaming about the good old days. The sources suggest a specific mental exercise. You jot down your core values, things like integrity or maybe grit or kindness.
Right.
And then, and this is the important part, you have to immediately tie those values to the specific moments that forge them, the triumphs, but also the stumbles.
That connection between the value and the event is what moves it beyond just, a platitude. And this is where these 3 starter questions we found come in. They're so powerful because they force you to dig deeper than just a summary of your life.
Tell us about those questions. They're designed to get past the surface, right?
They really are. The
Yeah.
first one is a kind of legacy check. How do you genuinely want to be remembered? And not just, as a nice person, but what specific actions define that?
Okay.
The second one is more personal. It forces you to look backwards. What lesson did your parents, or maybe a grandparent, pass to you? Something wrapped in an everyday act of grace, not some grand speech.
So it grounds the idea in something real and lived?
Exactly. And the third question, this one connects humility to achievement. What challenge did you conquer that still humbles you?
That humility part feels key.
It is. It makes sure you're focusing on the struggle and the learning, not just bragging about the victory.
So if you really put the work in and answer those 3 questions honestly, what does that do for the letter itself?
It guarantees authenticity. Your words will be raw, they'll ring true, they won't sound like they've been polished for, public consumption. And that truthfulness, that's the absolute soul of a legacy letter. Without it, it's just a list of accomplishments.
Right, which defeats the whole purpose. Okay, so once you have that authentic core, the next step is about who you're actually writing this for. This is what the sources call naming your keepers.
Yes. The instruction is to literally picture their faces, their curiosities, and to speak directly to them, even if they're descendants you'll never ever meet.
And the guidance gets really specific here because it's not a one-size-fits-all letter.
No, you have to tailor it based on the distance and time. You just can't speak to a great-grandchild a century from now. I mean, think of their world the same way you would to your own grandkids today.
So let's break that down. If you're talking to the wee ones, the kids who are maybe in your life right now,
Yeah.
what should that sound like?
The tone has to be simple, intimate. The letter should weave these easily digestible tales, stories of backyard adventures, a memorable trip to the beach. And you lace them with little whispers of bravery or kindness, things they can connect to.
But then for those further afield, the descendants who might be reading this 50 or 100 years from now, the scope can widen.
Oh, absolutely. For them, you can delve into Bigger, more historical topics. You can talk about family migrations, the political climate of your lifetime, these quiet acts of courage that really shaped your family tree.
Like the risk someone took to start a business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or to move across the country. It gives them historical context for their own existence, but it still feels like a fireside chat, not a history textbook.
Okay, so we have the audience, we have the core message. Now we need a structure, but not a rigid one. The sources called this sketching the map, or outlining with heart.
Right, it's more of a mind map of emotions, which allows the stories to breathe.
And what are the non-negotiable components of that map? What has to be in there?
Well, you start with an opening that sets the scene. Give it some flavor.
An example.
Something like, I'm writing this on a crisp autumn day with the leaves swirling outside, kind of like the questions I once chased. You know, you anchor the moment in time.
I like that.
And you layer in your life's journey, its arc. Then you get to the core, your values, but illustrated through anecdotes. And right after that, gratitude.
Poured like warm honey is how they put it.
Yes. But then comes what I think is maybe the most powerful part. Regrets reframed as signposts.
Regrets as signposts. That sounds difficult. How do you reframe a regret so it guides someone instead of just warning them?
It's a perspective shift. A regret isn't useful if it's just, you lamenting a mistake. That's self-indulgent. It becomes a signpost when you analyze the lesson from that mistake.
Like say.
You show the reader which path to avoid and why. You say, I regretted not taking that chance, not because it went badly, but because I lost the chance to grow. So I encourage you to seize the moment, even if you're terrified. You show them the action of learning from failure.
That's much more powerful than just saying, don't make my mistakes.
Yeah.
It gives the map real depth. Now, what was that specific anecdote the sources highlighted? The one about hide and seek?
Yes. It was a grandmother recalling this seemingly trivial memory of playing hide and seek as a child. She talked about the feeling of waiting, hiding in silence, and then the just profound joy and relief of finally being found.
And she connected that to what?
To life's patient pursuits. She used that simple game to illustrate that values like patience and hope are often intertwined, and that even when you feel alone, you're part of a larger, loving search.
It's a perfect example of how to narrate, not lecture. Which brings us to section 3, weaving the threads. This is where the magic happens, right?
It really is, and that's the core directive. Narrate, don't lecture. You cannot just write, be resilient. You have to show it.
You had to illustrate it with a story.
Exactly. The example in the sources was about a big storm that flooded the family homestead. The story wasn't about the disaster itself, but about how the author's mother responded.
With that unshakable calm.
Yes. She systematically saved things, comforted everyone, never raised her voice. That action, her calm in the chaos, that is how you bequeath the value of resilience. The reader experiences it.
It's showing, not telling, at its absolute best.
Yeah.
And amid that kind of storytelling, the sources say you have to express specific, detailed thanks.
Yes. Gratitude needs to be detailed. Thank them for the small things. The laughter over a failed pie crust, the steady hand of a spouse, the sound of kids playing in the morning. Those details make the thanks feel real.
And you also need to slip in, 3 core life lessons?
3 distinct lessons, yes. And they should be universal ones. The examples given were things like perseverance after losing a job, or the quiet power of forgiveness, both giving it and asking for it.
And this seems to be the place where vulnerability comes in. The letter shouldn't be a sanitized history.
Oh, that vulnerability is the greatest gift of all. It's you saying, I was flawed, I struggled, and look, I got through it, you can too. It shifts the tone from some kind of unattainable hero to an accessible human. It's so much more comforting.
So once the story is told, we come to the end, the tender close. The goal is to offer blessings and encouragement. What should that sound like?
It should be a profound wish for their future, something that lingers. Maybe, may you chase dreams with the same wild heart that carried me, but always know your family's love is the net that will catch you. Something like that. It seals the warmth.
And they suggest adding one final personal touch.
Right. And with the family saying, or a favorite line from a poem or a song, something that serves as a final emotional signature.
So once the writing is finally done, we move to the last step, which is all logistics. Seal and safeguard. Deciding where this letter is going to live.
Is it going into a physical safe? Is it being digitized? Or, and I love this, is it recorded as a voice note so they can hear the actual timbre of your voice? The preservation is as critical as the writing.
And this is where legacy letters are really evolving, aren't they? They're becoming these multi-sensory heirlooms.
The creativity is fascinating. People are pairing the written letter with video clips, showing the actual homestead where the storm happened.
Or embedding them in password-protected family websites. What's powerful about that is they can become living documents, not just sealed in time.
And did you see the idea about eco-conscious scribes?
The seed paper. Tell us about that.
They're printing the letters on seed paper, so when you're done, you can plant the letter and it literally blooms into wildflowers. Imagine the symbolism there. You read the wisdom, and then you watch it literally take root and grow.
That's incredible. It transforms this historical document into something vividly alive.
It does. And in all these methods, physical, digital, audio, the philosophy is the same. Your voice doesn't have to fade. It can ripple forward and nurture the roots of a family tree you will never get to see.
That's a really powerful idea. So before we wrap up, let's just distill those gentle takeaways for you, the listener, who might be thinking about starting this journey.
First, remember that stories outlast stone. A single, raw, real anecdote cements your place in the family saga more than any monument ever could.
Second, values are verbs. Don't just list them. Show them dancing through your days. Invite your family to join that rhythm.
Third, love letters the loudest. End with encouragement, with warmth. Make sure they carry your unconditional love with them into their own futures.
And finally, the simplest one. Time is the canvas. Don't wait. Start today. Just one question at a time and watch it unfold.
And that brings us back to that one structural element, the one that takes the most courage. If the whole point is to gift wisdom and essence, how might focusing on those regrets reframed as signpost, showing how you learned from your biggest mistakes, actually be the most valuable gift you can possibly offer? Because while we can point them toward joy, maybe it's only our failures that can truly illuminate the path they should avoid. Think about how your greatest regret could become their clearest guidance.